Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The next one after reconcile is bank fee. Bank fee is basically for the purpose of online banking, so we are not using this section. And the next one after this one, which we want to discuss, is the loan manager. What is the purpose of loan manager? Through loan manager, we can manage how much loan we have received, within how many years we have to pay this one, how much is the rate of interest, how much we have to pay on each installment, right? Within how many years we can clear the amount of the original amount of loan along with the interest and so on. But before to click on the loan manager, you have to see the steps that we need under the loans. These are the steps that we need under the managing loan. Step number one, as loan is a type of liability, you have to create a liability account, right? Why? Because it is a liability account. Even you take loan from the bank, when you take loan from your friend or from anyone else, so you have to create a liability account, either under the other current liability or under the long-term liability. From where you can do this one, you can do it from the chart of account. And second one, after that, you have to deposit into this account, right? When you create the account of liability, then you have to take a loan from the bank. When you take loan from the bank, and so on, so you have to deposit to this account. There should be some balance. Either you can deposit through bank deposit or through what? Through general journal entry. And after that, there are several other processes. For example, you have to create an interest account, you have to create an escrow account, you have to create a finance charge account, and finally, you have to create an account from whom you have received the loan. So these are the 6 steps that we need, but these 4 steps can be done during the process of loan, but these 2 steps should be done at the beginning before clicking on the loan manager, right? So how to do this one? Let us go for the chart of account. Step number one, we have to create a loan. So create the loan account either under the other current liability or otherwise you can create it under long-term liability. Let us create it under the long-term liability, right? So let us name this one. Name it, for example, as mortgage loan, right? Mortgage loan, for example. Mortgage loan means the long-term type of loan, right? So either the balance can be given for this from this section itself. Let us give the balance of loan. How much is the balance of loan? For example, balance of loan is amount of 1 lakh. When you have received this one, let us say I have received this one at the beginning of the January 2020, right? Save this one. This is the balance. You can save and close this one, right? 19 in the past. Okay, that's fine. So how much loan is there? Amount of 1 lakh loan is available on this one, right? This is okay. So the balance, okay, that's fine. Leave now this one. So one of the way you have deposited to this account. Second way how you can deposit to this account is through make deposit, right? Through make deposit, from which account to which account we want to make deposit. We want to make deposit, for example, so here in this one, if you want to deposit to your bank, if you want to deposit to a loan account, so you have to select, for example, receive from whom you have received. So select the name of that person from whom you have taken loan, right? For example, this is, let us say, for example, we have received uh, from one of the vendor by the name of Sadaf. Let us say, for example, Sadaf is the lender and she has given us money for the purpose of taking loan. From account, and from account, in the account, you have to select your mortgage account, right? How much, for example, let us say previously the balance was 2 lakh. Let us say, well, balance was 1 lakh. Now let us say, for example, I have received 1 more lakh to this account. Save and close this one. Now, if you go for the chart of account and check the balance of this loan account, definitely balance has increased. Or otherwise, you can check it from the transfer fund, right? Let me check out from transfer fund the loan account, mortgage loan. Balance increased to how much? To 2 lakh. Or otherwise, if you do not do this one, then you can do this. You can deposit to this account through general journal entry as well. Go for the company, general journal entry. If you receive loan, for example, from someone and you deposit to your bank account, right? Let us say, for example, I have received and I have deposited to my bank account. So under debit, you have to take your bank account. How much you receive? For example, let us say I have received amount of 2 lakh, right? And from where you have received, of course, this is a type of loan that I have received it. Save and close this one. Now, if you go for your mortgage account, the balance is equal to how much? 4 lakh. So in this way, you can deposit to your bank account. So I have deposited to my bank account, right? And to my loan account. So this was step 1 and step 2. I have created the account and I have deposited to this one. Either you can do this one before going for the loan manager, or otherwise you can do it during the process of loan manager as well, right? So, but I'm going to go for the process of loan manager. Click on the loan manager. Okay. It takes a few moments. So here it shows that, for example, if already there is a payment, if already there is a loan, if there is a schedule, so you can see it. But basically, if you can see, there is no payment. So click on add loan in order to manage your loan, right? First one, account name. Account name means so which loan account you want to manage. For example, previously I have created a loan account by the name of mortgage loan. Select this one. It shows the balance of this one, how much is the balance of this one. And then of course select the lender from whom you have received. Let us say, for example, I have received from Sadaf, right? Sadaf is the lender. Origination date. Origination date, you can mention the origination date. Basically, this origination date can be checked from the bank loan or from the transaction date. Either, for example, if you take a loan from Sadaf or you have taken loan from the bank, between you and the lender, there is a contract, right? Or there is an agreement. So this origination date can be checked from that agreement. Let us say, for example, the whole, let us say, for example, I have received just, for example, yesterday, right? So that is, for example, that is 20 of the June itself. Origination amount, how much is the origination amount? The origination amount can be this amount itself. How much is the amount of origination? The amount of origination is equal to amount of 4 lakh, right? Terms. Then how you make contract with them? Either you repay on monthly basis, or you repay on weekly basis, or otherwise on yearly basis. Let us say I'm going to pay on we can say yearly basis. I'm going to pay on how many? On yearly basis. On how many years? Let us say, for example, I have taken this loan for 5 years. For how many years? For 5 years. So you have to mention 5, right? So loan account, from whom you have received, which date you have received, and how much is the amount of loan. And this is received for how many years? This is received for how many years? For 5 years, right? Or 5 months. Or otherwise, you can mention, for example, 60 instead of 5. Here you can mention, for example, 60 months. How many months? 60. Sorry. 60 months. How many months? 60 months. If it is on monthly basis. Otherwise, if it is on yearly basis, so you can mention, for example, 5 months, 5 years. So within 5 years, I'm going to pay the amount. So click on the next. When you click on the next, so see add loan, enter payment information for this loan. Enter the payment information. Due date of the next payment. What is the due date of the next payment? It means how you can pay for the next payment. So basically, this date should be mentioned based on the contract, right? So it is mentioned on the contract between you and the lender when you have to pay the next payment. Let us say, for example, the next payment is the June of the, we can say 19 June of the next year. Why? Because I'm paying on yearly basis. Amount of payment, interest plus principal. When you make the next payment, how much will be the next payment, right? So basically, this is also from the contract. This is based on the agreement. Check in the agreement. Check in the agreement between you and the, of course, the lender. How much interest you have to pay on on yearly basis, and how much of the original loan should be paid. Let us say, for example, I want to pay amount of 1 lakh. Let us say 1,50,000 on the first installment basis. Next payment terms. If this is the next payment, this is payment number how which number? This is payment number 1, this is payment number 2, this is payment number 3 or 4. As I'm paying for the first time, this is payment number number one. Payment period, basically I have taken it on monthly basis, on yearly basis, so take it here. Does this loan has an escrow account? If you say yes, then you have to mention escrow. What is escrow account? Escrow account means, for example, you take loan from Ahmad, but you deposit, you take loan from Ahmad, but in order to be able to repay this amount of loan, each month you have to deposit to the third party. Each month you have to deposit to the third party. Maybe that might be because of security purpose, or that might be because of the repayment ability of you in the future. For example, I have taken loan from Ahmad, right? But Ahmad is saying that at the end of each month, you have to deposit some specific amount to a bank, and there should be a pool of money. And at the specific end of a specific time period, if you're not able to repay the original amount or the remaining amount, so I should be able to take from that amount, right? So this is called escrow account. So how much you want to pay to the escrow account? If you have it, so select yes. If you don't have it, select no. Let us say, for example, I have the escrow account also, and I want to deposit 20,000 at the end of each month. If you have a escrow account, so you have to select your escrow account, right? Escrow account, basically, as I said, in this case, it is a type of other current assets. It should be created under other current asset. Why it should be created under other current asset? Because it is my money that it is saved with the third party, right? It is my money that is available with the third party, and that is available there. If I was able to pay the loan of this party at the end, so this is the amount that is available for me itself. If it is not created now, so definitely you have to create this account, right? So if it is not available here, you have to create it. How can I create it? Again, as I said previously, these are the previous steps that I have to do, basically that was required. So these are not created, this account is not created, so I have to create this account. How can I create it? So for this purpose, I have to stop the process. I have to stop the process, then I have to go for the screw, if you have it. But if you don't have it, then you have to cancel it. Let us say I have not created this account, so let me cancel the screw account, right? Let us say I don't have the screw account. If you don't have the screw account, so cancel it. Alert me 10 days before payment is due. So you can ask the QuickBook that just inform me 10 days before the payment date, right? For example, payment date is in this date, so 10 days before the QuickBook should give me a reminder that there is a payment, so you please do not miss it. Click on the next. When you click on the next, so it specifies the rate of interest, how much interest you have to pay. For example, let's say I'm paying 10% interest. How much interest? 10%. This interest is compound on annually basis or on what? Let us say this is compound on annually basis, right? If it is on annually basis, no need for the day. If it is on day basis, then you have to select the compound period. Then compound period either can be 365 out of 365 or 360 out of 365. But as I have selected annually basis, so no need for this one. Then payment account. Payment account means from which bank account I am paying this amount of loan. Yes, I have to repay this loan, right? So when I have to repay the loan, from which bank account I have to repay. Let us say, for example, I am paying this amount from the EIB bank account. Interest expenses account. Of course, I have to pay interest on this one. If I'm going to pay interest on this one, so the interest which I'm paying, it should be linked to which account. So this is interest expenses account, right? If you don't have it, you have to create it. Then fee or charge expenses account. Fee or charge expenses account, of course, should be linked to bank charge. If you have it, it is fine. Otherwise, you have to create it. If you remember, these were the steps under this one as well. Create an interest account, create a screw account, create a fee charge account, and of course, create a lender. So these are the 6 steps that are required for taking loan, right? So interest is created, rate of interest is selected, it is annually it is selected, and from which bank account I want to repay from this account. You can select, otherwise you can select the Kabul bank. The interest which I pay should be linked to which account, and the bank charge or fee should be linked to which account, to this account. So if everything is fine, go for the finish. If it is not, you can go for the previous. Let us say I want to go for the finish. So when you finish this one, so now you can check your statements, right? So this is the information regarding the loan. This is the lender. And of course, this is the rate of interest. This is the amount that I have to pay. Escrow I don't have, and so on. This is the original amount. This is the original date. A schedule for the payment. This is the schedule for the payment, right? So this is the amount that I have to repay. Within 4 installments, it can get over, right? So the first installment is equal to how much? 1,50,000. So this is the second, third, and fourth, right? These are the installments. And of course, if you want to pay the amount, if you want to make the payment, so select anyone and then go for setup payments, right? So then you can make the payment. This is payment number 1. So then you can issue a check and save and close it. This is payment 1 is that. If it is okay, then go for the second payment. Suppose this is the second time. You can change the amount as well. In this way, you can make the payment for the lenders as well. So 2 payments are made, and only 1 payment is remaining. Edit the loans if you want, remove the loan if you want, add the loans if you want to add some the new loans, so you can do it. Print it, and of course then close and so on. So this is the purpose of loan manager. And contact information, this is of course belong to the lender, but we don't have it. Only we have Sadaf Al Qudai group of companies, right? If you want other loan, you want to add few more loans in this way, you can do rest of the steps.